Welcome to Tallinn, the capital city of Estonia, formerly Soviet. Now they're in NATO, so watch out, Russia. Don't try anything stupid. This is the last country checked off the list. It was actually a very smooth ferry ride here. I could have filmed that, but I gotta say better, you know what I mean? But yeah, here we go. Now, if you were to tell me like 5-10 years ago, Jack, you're gonna go to Estonia one day, I would have said, no way. Well, joke's on me, because here I am. How cool is this? Wow. Now, what is now Estonia was occupied by many different forces throughout history. The Swedes, the Nazis, but I think above all the Russians. And the Russians, I think, really had like the most brutal reign over this country. And the aggressiveness and the iron fist of their rule will not be forgotten among Estonians. So, you know, I would imagine these are probably very resilient people, given their tempestuous history with occupying forces. But on a lighter side, I mean, geez, look how beautiful this place is. My goodness. This is so I think it's my 6th European capital, because the first one was Berlin, and then Paris, Vienna, Copenhagen, Helsinki. Yeah, so this would be the 6th European capital I've been to. And I gotta say, it's really, really dope. It's really something. Now, there's actually been a few proposals between Tallinn and Helsinki to build a rail link similar to the one they have between London and Paris, but it's never like secured funding for it. I guess the demand just, I don't know if it's there, but there certainly had to have been quite a bit of resources that fell short for building such a link. So for now, you can only get between the two cities by by plane, by ferry, and those are the main two ways. If you think of any other ones, let me know. Aside from the many occupying forces this city and country has, or had, this is another tragedy that sadly cost the lives of, as you can see, 852 people. I actually remember seeing a 0 Hour episode about this, and it's just like, in a sense, you can kind of call it like the modern day Titanic. I mean, because even people on the boat, they're like, oh, this isn't Titanic. This isn't like, this is unsinkable and stuff. But yeah, this happened about 5 months before I was born. And, you know, just, if you ever come here, just pay your respects, you know, because this was definitely one of the big tragedies in post-World War II in the 20th century, late 20th century. Many of the victims were Estonian, Swedish. You also had, I think, Lithuanians. Now, many of the victims of this tragedy were Estonians and Swedish mainly, but you also had a couple, you know, Germans, Lithuanians, Latvians, you know, a lot of European countries, Russia especially, you know, and this is like shortly after the fall of the Soviet Union, a couple of years after that. But yeah, I mean, it's just definitely a serious tragedy that you can in a sense call it Estonia's 9/11, but maybe that's kind of a false characterization, but nonetheless, it is a tragedy. See all the flowers laid out, candles. Now, as the Soviet Union collapsed and countries gained their independence throughout 1990, 1991, Estonia took a turn. They followed rule of law, democracy, capitalism, and obviously, like I said earlier, they're in NATO, so they're not like obviously aligned with Russia like they once were under Soviet times, but you know, times have definitely changed a lot in this country since the end of the Cold War. Man, I'm fanboying so hard right now because this is where Bald and Bankrupt was. I think it was, forgive me, I'm a bit out of breath after walking up all those steps. But yeah, I think he was at around here. I think it was 2.5 years ago or something like that, maybe 3. No, I think it was 2.5. It was after his battle with COVID when he was in Serbia. But yeah, it's crazy. Woo. What a city this place is. Really goes without saying, but the views up here are just spectacular. Look at that. Well, behind me is just one indication that Estonia is definitely one of the more prosperous former Soviet republics. I mean, just look at how nice these are. Like, wow. The infrastructure here is just, it's better than what I can say about my city, let's say that. Like I said in Tampa, this is what traveling is all about. I mean, just, man. Okay, that's the last time I'm gonna like rub it in, because I know obviously not everyone has the funds to travel and stuff like that, especially to faraway lands like Estonia, at least from North America. So I'm that'll be the last time I do that, okay? Last time. What do you think that is? It's like the bottom of an old boat, but who knows? So behind me is the old communist prison dating back to Soviet times. Man. How surreal is all this? Yikes. Also on a side note, I don't like how sinister those clouds look. But don't worry, I have an umbrella. We're all good. Construction is alive and well in Tallinn. After so many steps, here we go. Oh, Jesus. Whew. Look at that view. It was totally worth the exhaustion.
There's a big tower.
So yeah, guys, if you're thinking about doing a European trip, before you consider London, Paris, Prague, well, actually Prague would be cool, but like I said, London, Paris, or like Barcelona, I urge you to reconsider and give Helsinki a think, because with all its medieval history and just, I mean, there's so much antiquity about it that I mean, you really can't go wrong with this place. I'm sorry, I can't really put it into words right now, but basically I encourage you to check out Tallinn in Estonia. So hopefully I can convince you. I know I didn't do the best job at doing so, but just give it a think. Give it a think in the old noggin about Tallinn. So I hope you guys understand now why I called it Nordic Trip Plus, because Estonia is not a Nordic country. Mystery solved. Well guys, I think that'll be it from old Tallinn. There's more I could have showed you obviously, but I actually caught up with a friend from the hostel, so you know, went up to that church I was just up, and but yeah, there's more to the city than what I showed you, and there's definitely more to Estonia than just Tallinn. So much rich history here, so if you're thinking about coming here, please do, because you will not regret it. Signing off.